This story begins in the middle of the turbulent and icy sea of Alaska, where we see a complete crew fishing for crabs with a cage. Everything is fine and calm, or at least as calm as fishing can be in the middle of the ocean. That's when suddenly the enormous Mosasaurus appears, the huge marine dinosaur that had great white sharks as a snack in the first movie, and not only does it eat the cage, but it also flips the boat. Immediately after, we see a summary that shows what the world is like since dinosaurs roam freely in it. Herbivorous dinosaurs have spread through forests in the United States, there have been attacks on people, and a black market for dinosaurs has emerged. To protect the dinosaurs, Congress has decreed that the only company with rights to hunt dinosaurs is a company called Biosyn Genetics, whose president, a guy named Louis Dodgson, says that the company's goal is to study dinosaurs to cure human diseases. I don't know, Rick. It seems fake. This guy also created a sanctuary in some mountains in Italy, where the largest and most dangerous dinosaur species in the world are found. Then we start to meet our beloved protagonists. First, we see Claire, who is with her friends Zia and Franklin, advocating for prehistoric life. We see them rescuing an adorable baby triceratops from an illegal breeding facility. There's a really cool chase, but everything ends well, and Claire and her friends escape with the baby triceratops. But not everything is so good, as Claire's friends tell her that they're going to quit their activism because it's dangerous and they get shot at a lot. I don't blame them. Next, we go to our beloved dinosaur trainer, Owen, the coolest character in the franchise, who is in Sierra Nevada herding a pack of dinosaurs. But something is not right, as there's a strange individual watching Owen. Then we see Maisie, who is in a cabin in the forest chopping wood. She gets on her bicycle, crosses a bridge, and goes to the town, where a couple of long-necked dinosaurs appear. Maisie returns to the house where she meets Claire, with whom she has a discussion because Claire says she can't go beyond the bridge as dangerous people are looking for her because she's a clone. Maisie says it doesn't even matter because she's not a real person but a clone of a dead person. Can't blame her for feeling confused. Plus, she gets angry with her and tells her she's not her mom. Meanwhile, in the forest near the cabin, we see Blue, who also has a lovely mini Blue following her everywhere, teaching her how to hunt. Owen arrives later at the cabin, and the whole family is gathered. That night, Owen tries to talk to Maisie, but everything goes worse, and the girl gets even angrier. Meanwhile, many kilometers away, things start to get murky when a couple of small children are attacked by a swarm of prehistoric giant locusts bigger than my cat. The children survive, catch one of them, and later, our dear Dr. Ellie Sattler from Jurassic Park appears on the screen. She goes to the same field where the locusts appeared, which ate everything except for one field. A field sown with biosyn seeds. Does anyone smell something strange? Because I do. Then we go to Utah, where our beloved Dr. Alan Grant is on a fossil excavation when Ellie comes to visit him. They have a very platonic and nostalgic conversation where we find out that Ellie's children are already adults, and she has separated from her husband. I wonder if Alan would understand the hint. Ellie shows him the enormous live locust and tells him they must have been developed by biosyn to eat everything that isn't theirs and have control over agriculture in the world. She also asks him to accompany her to the biosyn sanctuary, which can only be accessed by invitation. However, they will be able to go there thanks to the resourceful Ian Malcolm, who has been working and invited them. So in the end, Alan joins the adventure. Back in the Sierra Nevada, Maisie encounters Blue's offspring, and it seems she wasn't aware of the rule not to approach the offspring of any dangerous animal due to their intelligence. Luckily, Owen arrives and controls Blue, and the velociraptor leaves with her offspring. After this, a group with the same guy who was watching Owen arrives, and this group kidnaps Blue's offspring. And also Maisie. Angry Blue goes to confront Owen, but he promises the velociraptor that he will return her offspring. So Owen and Claire go to find Maisie. They contact Franklin, who now works for the CIA. He tells them that they are investigating the person who kidnapped Maisie, that they have a spy in his operation in Malta, and that they please not intervene. However, it's clear that our protagonists are going after their little cloned girl. Meanwhile, Ellie and Alan arrive at the Dolomites in Italy, where biosyn has its special dinosaur sanctuary. There they meet Ramsey, a friendly guy who guides them on the tour. He also mentions that in case of an emergency, the dinosaurs have a chip in their brain that helps guide them to safe places. The sanctuary also has an AAD, aerial deterrent system, to prevent pterodons and other flying creatures from attacking planes and helicopters in the area. They also meet Dodgson, the president of Biosyn, a particularly friendly and peculiar guy who undoubtedly hides something. Later, they encounter Ian Malcolm, who first tells them that the world is screwed and that they have no choice but to surrender and accept the end of times. But then he tells Ellie that she is right and that Biosyn has evil plans for the world. He gives her a security key and tells her where the lobsters are stored so she can take a sample. On the other hand, Dodgson, now showing his true villainous nature, talks to Dr. Wu, who now works for him and has been there creating increasingly genetically modified dinosaurs, movie after movie. However, he seems concerned and remorseful about the lobsters. But Dodgson doesn't care about anything. Meanwhile, quickly, we see an African-American pilot named Kayla, who delivers Maisie and, despite asking questions, does nothing and leaves. Claire and Owen arrive in Malta, where they meet Owen's old coworker from his raptor training days at Jurassic World. He takes them to a secret black market where smugglers from around the world have dinosaurs and pterosaurs as if they were exotic pets. There, Claire meets Kayla, who strangely acts kindly towards her, although she disguises it. When Claire shows her the photo of Maisie and says she's her daughter, Kayla feels guilty but pretends she knows nothing. Finally, Owen finds the leader of the kidnappers and causes chaos in the black market when the dinosaurs are set free. Owen manages to make the leader of the kidnappers confess that he doesn't know where the girl is, but the woman who hired him might know. This woman is the leader of the traffickers and, amidst the chaos of the escaped dinosaurs, she releases a group of atrociraptors. They're a kind of larger and muscular velociraptors that chase and eat anyone their owner has targeted with a laser pointer, just like the Indoraptor. Claire gets the trafficker to tell her that Maisie is in the sanctuary and Biosyn. But before that, the woman aims her pointer at Claire. And she flees through the city until she falls into a truck, which, for the sake of the plot, happens to be driven by Kayla, the pilot who claimed to know nothing about Maisie. Kayla helps Claire escape from the atrociraptor that was chasing her. Owen, his friend, and the rest of the operation agents are also targeted with the laser pointer, starting a wild chase through the streets of Malta that ends when Claire and Owen reach Kayla's plane and travel to the Biosyn sanctuary. The next scene is with Alan and Ellie at Biosyn, where the pleasant Ramsey tells them that he'll leave them alone to enjoy the facilities but advises them not to go to the elevators that lead to the restricted sublevels. At the same time, Maisie is talking to Dr. Wu, who tells her that she's not a clone made by her late grandfather of his deceased daughter, but rather she was created by the old Lockwood's daughter, Charlotte. Charlotte grew up amidst the research of the first Jurassic Park, cloned herself, and became pregnant without the need for a partner, so in reality, Charlotte is her biological mother. Wu also tells her that Charlotte had a disease that killed her, but when she created Maisie, she made her the same but without that disease. He explains that his goal is to study Maisie's blood to find a solution to the locust problem. Alan and Ellie arrive where the locusts are kept, and poor Alan has to pick up one of these cat-sized insects to take a sample. This causes a commotion, and the locusts attack them, but they manage to take cover and escape unharmed. Meanwhile, Maisie takes advantage of this commotion to escape and free Little Blue Jr., whom she named Beta. Maisie escapes and encounters Alan and Ellie, whom she recognizes. The group meets Ramsey, who surprises them by telling them that he already knew everything and that he was the one who told Ian that the lobsters were part of Biosyn's sinister plan. Meanwhile, things get crazy and difficult for Owen, Claire, and their pilot friend Keela because when they enter Biosyn's airspace, they deactivate the air deterrent system, and Owen and company are attacked by a giant pteranodon that breaks the plane. Claire is the only one with an ejection seat and parachute, so they activate it, and her seat flies out. Although she is about to die because of the pterodons that tear her parachute, she activates a spare one and lands in the middle of the forest. There, she encounters a gigantic therizinosaur, a very intimidating dinosaur with claws that resemble those of Freddy Krueger, which kills a deer in front of her. Claire crawls slowly and manages to escape from the dinosaur by getting into the water, and she survives. Meanwhile, Owen and Keela fall into a frozen dam, where they have to tiptoe to avoid breaking the ice and falling into the water. There, they encounter the feathered dinosaur from the trailer, which can also swim underwater. Just like his beloved, Owen falls into the water, only this one is icy cold. Nevertheless, they manage to escape narrowly, and for the sake of the plot, Owen doesn't freeze or suffer from hypothermia despite falling into such cold water. And there we discover one of Keela's most important motivations for helping Claire. She likes redheads. Can't blame her. They reach the spot where Claire fell, but they only find the dead deer, and the Tyrannosaurus approaches trying to eat it. Then the Giganotosaurus appears, the largest carnivore ever discovered in history, and it fights with the Tyrannosaurus and scares it away. Ian, Maisie, and Ellie are going through the underground tunnel, but Dodgson orders the power to be cut off, and they have to come out in the middle of an amber mine. Then the same guy calls for Ian Malcolm and fires him, but not before Ian exposes him in front of all his staff as a manipulator and a madman who will extinguish humanity due to his greed. But he doesn't pay attention and orders Ramsey to take him away. Ramsey does, but he also gives him a vehicle and tells him how to get to the exit of the amber mines where Alan, Ellie, and Maisie were stranded. During their progress through the mines, the group is chased by a group of dinosaurs with a fin on their back, and they reach a gate where they meet Ian, but it turns out that a code is needed to open the gate and Ian doesn't know it. At this moment, it seems like the end, but at the last minute, they manage to escape thanks to good old Ramsey, who was watching them through the cameras and remotely entered the code to allow them to get out safe and sound. In the end, Ian, Alan, Ellie, and Maisie regroup and start moving through the forest towards a safe place. Meanwhile, just when she had reached a safe place, Claire is attacked by a group of Dilophosaurs, which are the same dinosaurs with crests that spat venom in the first movie and ate the chubby guy who tried to betray old Hammond. Fortunately for Claire, the incredible Owen scares off these dinosaurs and saves her. The second group that reunited takes refuge in the building, but there were still things yet to happen, as Dodgson, knowing he would be blamed for the locust plague, deleted the files that incriminated him. And he ordered all the locusts to be burned, and they flew away on fire, causing a forest fire. This forces Dodgson to order a massive evacuation, using the chips in the dinosaurs' brains to guide them to the complex until the crisis is over. After their vehicle has an accident, from which everyone emerges unharmed. The Jurassic Park group and Maisie meet Owen, Claire and Keela's group, all is well until the Giganotosaurus appears and attacks them. After a harrowing chase in which the entire group manages to scare the Giganotosaurus with fire, electricity, and other weapons, the predator leaves them alone. Dodgson goes to Ramsey for help, and Ramsey confronts him and completely abandons him, revealing that it was he who exposed his plans and helped stop him. Ramsey then joins all the main characters to help them leave the sanctuary. To do that, they have to activate the air defense system and escape. So Ellie and Claire go to the place's power source and destroy it with axes. Meanwhile, the evil Dodgson tries to escape, but just then the lights go out after Claire and Ellie destroy the systems. The villain has no choice but to flee on foot, but at that moment he encounters the Dilophosaurs, who chase him, surround him, shoot venom at him, and finally devour him. We also see Owen searching for Beta, the mini blue he promised to return to her mother, in a scene where Maisie acts like a mini Owen and distracts Beta with the palm of her hand so he can shoot her with a tranquilizer dart and take her back to the Sierra Nevada. Keela leaves to start a helicopter, and the group is about to escape when a repentant Dr. Wu arrives and begs them to let him go with them so he can redeem himself by studying Maisie and finding a solution to the locust problem. No one on the team wants to trust him, but eventually Maisie convinces them and Wu accompanies them. As the helicopter is about to take off, the group realizes that the complex is full of dinosaurs thanks to the evacuation. In the middle of this dinosaur chaos, the T-Rex appears, followed by the Giganotosaurus, and they begin to fight because there can't be two alphas. After a massive dinosaur battle, the T-Rex is defeated until the Therizinosaurus, the one with long claws like Freddy Krueger, comes along and joins forces with the Tyrannosaurus. In the end, they both kill the Giganotosaurus when the T-Rex lets it fall onto the Therizinosaurus claws. In the midst of this battle, our protagonists manage to escape in time as the forest surrounding the complex catches fire. Finally safe and sound, Ramsey and Ian expose Biocin's corruption. Alan and Ellie break the sexual tension they've had throughout the film and confess their feelings for each other. The UN declares this sanctuary in the Dolomites, which has successfully recovered from the fire, a World Heritage Site and a safe place for dinosaurs from all over the world. We see Dr. Wu releasing a lobster with modified genes to solve the problem of lobsters by integrating them with others. They also tell us that Wu gives credit for his research to Maisie's late mother, Charlotte, and somewhat redeems himself from the many disasters caused by creating dinosaurs and reviving prehistoric animals. The story ends with Maisie, Claire and Owen reunited as one big happy family, and Owen fulfilling his promise by giving Blue her little beta so she can be free and happy with her, leading to their emotional goodbye. And the film ends with a series of breathtaking shots of incredible dinosaurs of all kinds peacefully coexisting with animals from all over the world. So friends, leave your opinion in the comments and don't forget to like us so we can keep uploading recaps like this one. See you next video.